Hello and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Henry, and as always, I'm joined by my amazing co-host, Sarah. Hey, Sarah.
Hey, Henry. Hello, everyone. We're so excited to have you here today. If you're learning English and want to speak fluently, then this episode is for you.
That's right. Speaking fluent English is a goal for so many learners, but it often feels like an impossible challenge. Maybe you've been studying grammar and vocabulary for years, but when it's time to speak, you just freeze.
Or you start translating in your head, and by the time you find the right words, the conversation has already moved on.
Exactly, but don't worry. Today we're going to break it all down. We'll share simple, practical tips to help you speak English more naturally and confidently.
And by the end of this episode, you'll have a clear plan to improve your fluency. Plus, we have a fun challenge for you to try at home, so stay tuned.
All right, let's get started. First, let's talk about what fluency really means. Sarah, what do you think? So before we dive into the strategies, let's take a moment to really understand what fluency means. Sarah, when someone says, "I want to be fluent in English," what do you think they actually mean?
Great question. A lot of people think fluency means speaking fast or speaking without any mistakes, but that's not actually true.
Right. Fluency is not about speaking quickly, it's about speaking smoothly and naturally.
Exactly. If you can express your thoughts clearly without constantly stopping or translating in your head, then you're already on the path to fluency.
That's such an important point. I think many learners get discouraged because they feel like they have to be perfect.
Yes, but think about it. Native speakers make mistakes all the time. We pause, we say or We even forget words sometimes, but we keep the conversation going, and that's what fluency is all about.
That's a great way to put it. And fluency also includes understanding. English well. If you can listen and respond naturally in a conversation, that's fluency.
Yes, fluency is not just about speaking, it's about communicating comfortably.
Exactly. So if you're listening right now and thinking, "I still make grammar mistakes," or "I don't know enough big words," don't worry. You don't need perfect grammar or a huge vocabulary to be fluent.
Right. What really matters is confidence, practice, and knowing how to keep a conversation going, even when you don't know every word.
That's such a good point. And that's why in the next part, we're going to share some powerful strategies to help you improve your fluency step by step.
So, get ready. We'll give you practical tips that you can start using today.
All right, now that we know fluency is about speaking smoothly and naturally, not perfectly, it's time to talk about how to get there. Sarah, what's the first strategy?
This is a big one. Many learners translate from their native language to English in their heads before speaking, but that actually slows you down.
Yeah, because by the time you find the right words, the conversation has already moved on.
Exactly. Instead of translating, train yourself to think directly in English. Start small. Describe what you're doing in your head in English. For example, instead of thinking, "Voy a hacer un café" in Spanish and then translating, just think, "I'm making coffee."
That's a great exercise, and you can also try setting your phone and social media to English to surround yourself with the language.
A lot of learners focus on memorizing individual words, but real fluency comes from learning phrases and chunks of language.
Yes, native speakers don't think word by word. They use phrases like, "That sounds good. I'll take care of it," or "Let me think about it."
Exactly. Instead of just learning the word frustrated, learn the phrase, "I feel frustrated when." That way you can use it naturally in conversation.
This one is huge. If you want to be fluent, you have to speak. There's no way around it.
Absolutely. And you don't always need a conversation partner. You can practice speaking alone, describe your day, talk about your plans, or even record yourself speaking and listen back.
Oh, and one of my favorite techniques is shadowing. You listen to a native speaker, maybe from a podcast or a YouTube video, and repeat what they say exactly as they say it.
Yes, it helps improve pronunciation, rhythm, and confidence. And if you can, find a language partner or join an online speaking group.
Speaking of pronunciation, this is another key to fluency. Sarah, what's the best way to improve pronunciation?
One of the best ways is to listen carefully to native speakers. Pay attention to how they stress words and connect sounds, and don't be afraid to mimic them.
Yes, it's like learning a song. You listen, repeat, and practice until it sounds natural.
Also, try recording yourself speaking English. Sometimes we don't notice our pronunciation mistakes until we hear ourselves.
Okay, this is a big one. Many learners are afraid to speak because they don't want to make mistakes.
Yes, but guess what? Making mistakes is actually a good thing. It means you're learning and improving.
Exactly. Think about how children learn languages. They make tons of mistakes, but they keep talking and learning. That's how we should approach English.
So, don't be afraid. Speak confidently even if you're not perfect. The more you practice, the better you'll get.
Here's a simple but powerful rule. The more you listen, the easier it becomes to speak.
Yes. Watch English movies, listen to podcasts, and pay attention to real conversations. The more input you get, the more natural English will feel.
And don't just listen. Repeat what you hear and use it in your own conversations.
Exactly. The more you speak, the more fluent you become. It's like going to the gym. Practice makes progress.
Wow, we covered a lot of great tips here. Let's do a quick recap before we move to the next section.
Good idea. So, to speak fluent English: 1. Think in English. 2. Learn phrases, not just words. 3. Practice speaking every day. 4. Improve pronunciation by mimicking native speakers. 5. Don't be afraid of mistakes. 6. Listen more to speak better.
That's right, and now let's make things fun. We have a little challenge for you. All right, now that we've shared some great strategies for fluency, it's time for some action. Sarah, what's today's speaking challenge for our listeners?
Good idea. So, to speak fluent English: 1. Think in English. 2. Learn phrases, not just words. 3. Practice speaking every day. 4. Improve pronunciation by mimicking native speakers. 5. Don't be afraid of mistakes. 6. Listen more to speak better.
Oh, sounds interesting. What's the twist?
Oh, I love this part. Okay, here's the challenge. We want you to speak for 2 minutes nonstop about your daily routine, but with a little twist.
That's a great challenge. And don't worry if you make mistakes. The goal is fluency, not perfection.
You can't use filler words like or like. The goal is to keep speaking smoothly, even if you need to pause and think.
That's a great example. And for those who want an extra challenge, try recording yourself and listening back. It helps you catch small mistakes and improve your pronunciation.
Exactly. And if you get stuck, just take a deep breath and keep going. You can describe things in a simple way. For example, instead of saying, "I wake up at 7 a.m., then I prepare breakfast and go to work," you could say, "In the morning, I open my eyes. I feel sleepy, but I get up. Then I eat something small before I leave the house." See? No complicated words, just smooth speaking.
We'd love to hear from you. So after this episode, grab your phone, hit record, and try speaking for 2 minutes about your day without stopping.
Yes, and if you want, you can even post your recording or a short video in the comments or share it with a language partner.
All right, have fun with the challenge. Up next, we'll talk about some common mistakes that stop people from becoming fluent and how to avoid them. All right, now that we've given you some powerful strategies and a fun speaking challenge, let's talk about something just as important: what not to do.
And remember, fluency comes with practice. The more you speak, the more confident you'll become.
So, mistake number 1, using too many fillers. Words like uh, like, or
Yes, because sometimes small mistakes can slow down your fluency progress. So let's go over some of the most common mistakes English learners make and how to fix them.
So instead of saying, I went to the store and bought some, apples, try pausing instead of filling the silence with or like.
Ah, yes. These words make you sound less confident. And while native speakers use them sometimes, too many can make it harder for people to follow what you're saying.
Okay, here's another mistake. Translating directly from your native language.
Yes! A little silence is better than too many filler words. It makes you sound more fluent and confident.
For example, in some languages, you might say, I have 30 years instead of I am 30 years old.
Yes, many learners do this, but English has different sentence structures and expressions.
This is an interesting one. Some learners think that fluency means speaking super fast, but that's actually a mistake.
Exactly. A good way to fix this is to learn phrases as they are used in English, instead of trying to translate word by word.
And on the other hand, speaking too slowly can make you sound unsure of yourself.
Yes, speed doesn't equal fluency. If you speak too fast, you might make more mistakes and be harder to understand.
This might be the biggest mistake, being too afraid to speak.
The key is to find a natural pace. Speak clearly, take your time, and don't rush. Oh, I see this all the time. Many learners understand English perfectly but avoid speaking because they're scared of making mistakes.
Here's another mistake, using the same basic words over and over.
Yes, it's much better to speak with mistakes than to stay silent. No one expects you to be perfect.
For example, instead of always saying good, you could say fantastic, wonderful, or amazing.
Yes, many learners rely on simple words like good, bad, big, or small, but English has so many ways to express ideas.
All right, let's quickly recap the common mistakes to avoid. 1. Using too many filler words like and 2. Translating directly from your native language. 3. Speaking too fast or too slow. 4. Avoiding conversations because of fear of mistakes. 5. Using the same basic words instead of expanding your vocabulary.
A great way to fix this is to write down new words and actually use them in conversations.
Exactly. And coming up next, we're going to give you some motivation and encouragement to keep going on your English fluency journey. All right, we've talked about fluency, shared some powerful strategies, and even pointed out common mistakes. Now let's take a moment to encourage you, our amazing listeners, on your English learning journey.
If you can fix even 1 or 2 of these mistakes, you'll see a huge improvement in your fluency.
Exactly. And here's something important to remember. You are already better than you think. If you've listened to this episode and understood most of it, guess what? You're making progress.
Yes, learning a language is a long journey, and sometimes it can feel frustrating. But remember, every step you take brings you closer to fluency.
That's so true, and every single mistake you make is a sign that you're learning. Think of mistakes as stepping stones, not roadblocks.
Yes, and fluency doesn't happen overnight. It's like learning to play an instrument or a sport. It takes time, practice, and patience.
And now you're fluent in Spanish. That's proof that it works. You just have to keep going.
Exactly. And let me share a quick story. When I was learning Spanish, I was so afraid to speak because I thought I'd sound silly. But then I realized that the only way to improve was to just speak, even if I made mistakes.
And remember, you're not alone. There are millions of people learning English just like you, and we're here to support you every step of the way.
Yes, so if you ever feel stuck or discouraged, just remind yourself, every time you practice, every time you try, you are improving. You are getting closer to fluency.
Wow, what an episode. We covered so much today. What fluency really means, key strategies to improve, common mistakes to avoid, and of course, a fun challenge to help you practice.
So keep going, keep practicing, and most importantly, enjoy the process.
That's right. And we'd love to hear from you. Try today's speaking challenge and let us know how it goes. You can leave a comment, send us a message, or even share your recording with a language partner.
Yes, and remember, fluency is not about being perfect. It's about communicating confidently. Every small step you take gets you closer to your goal.
Absolutely. Keep practicing, stay confident, and most importantly, have fun with English.
And if you found this episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, share it with a friend, and leave us a review. Your support helps us create more episodes just like this one. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.